Hello everybody, my name is Lucy, which according to my friends and family is short for Lucifer, and today we're going to be making tiramisu. Not just one tiramisu, but two. We're going to be comparing the traditional way of making tiramisu with raw eggs and the more modern version which uses whipped cream. And here are all of the special ingredients that you're going to be needing. First, and most importantly, ladyfingers, instant coffee, and mascarpone cheese. Our supervisor for today is going to be Sora. We begin by making 360 grams of coffee. Just follow the instructions on whatever instant coffee you have. For me, it's 3 tablespoons of instant coffee to... Just kidding, I didn't measure. I just added a bunch of water. Now, it is key that this coffee is cold when you go to use it. Otherwise, the ladyfingers are going to completely disintegrate. So after making sure that all the instant coffee is really nice and dissolved in the hot water, pop that in the fridge or the freezer for as long as it takes to cool down. Completely ice cold. I warned you. We are going to tackle the traditional tiramisu first. You're going to need 3 whole eggs that we're going to be separating. When making anything that requires plain egg whites, you have to be super duper careful not to get any egg yolk in there, otherwise your whites won't whip up. Once you have those separated, we're going to get started on whipping up the egg whites. I like to get them to this nice foamy stage before I add in my sugar. Whip them up to soft peaks like this. And then you're going to repeat the process with the egg yolks. You're going to add 70 grams of sugar and you're going to whip them up until they look nice and pale. I did make one tiny mistake here. I should have added some of the sugar that went into the yolks into the egg whites just so that they would be a little bit more stable. But even if you mess it up a little bit like I did and your mixture turns out a little bit runnier than it's supposed to, it's still set in the fridge and it still tasted incredible. So now for the mascarpone. I'm using 226 grams here because that's what comes in the packages here in the US. You want to make sure all of your ingredients are at room temperature. This is very important because mascarpone is really finicky. I like to just work it a little bit, make sure it's nice and soft and pliable before adding it to the egg yolks. You don't have to be super careful at this step because the egg yolks are not super aerated. Once the mascarpone and the egg yolks are perfectly incorporated, you're going to want to add your egg whites. Now, this is where it can get a little bit tricky. You're going to take a little bit of the egg whites and fold them into the egg yolk mixture first. You're essentially sacrificing that little bit of egg white so that later it is easier to incorporate all of the egg whites into the egg yolk mixture without losing all of the air, okay? So sacrifice some of those egg whites. Make sure you are folding with your spatula rather than whisking or beating. That way you can retain the most amount of air. And once you have that done, we're going to move on to the ladyfingers. Take your cold coffee out of the fridge and start dipping those ladyfingers into it. For this, less is more. I got a little bit greedy because I like a strong coffee flavor in my tiramisu, but you want to retain some of the body of the ladyfinger. Otherwise, you're just going to be biting into mush and that's not too pleasant, but you do you, I guess. So you're going to dunk them no more than a couple seconds on either side of the ladyfinger, and then you're going to put it into your container. I'm using an 8x8 pan here, but you can use whatever you have at home. And once you're done assembling the bottom layer, it's time to put in some of the filling. For my pan and the amount of cream that I made, I was able to do 2 full layers of filling and 2 full layers of ladyfingers. Once you're done spreading that around, you're going to put in a layer of cocoa powder on top. As well as some chocolate shavings. I'm using semi-sweet chocolate here because that's my favorite, or you could go for a darker chocolate if that's what you'd prefer. Then we're going to do the second layer of ladyfingers, same process. Coat the top in cocoa powder and put it in the fridge for a couple hours to overnight. The longer you let it sit, the more those flavors are gonna soak into the ladyfingers and everything's gonna set. Then we're gonna get started with the modern version. This version doesn't use any raw eggs because a lot of people are really spooked by that, which I completely understand. Therefore, we're gonna use heavy whipping cream, 300 grams to be exact. To that, you're gonna add some vanilla extract. This is totally optional. I just like the taste. You're gonna add 70 grams of sugar. And you're gonna beat that until the whipped cream is nice and thick like this. Don't wanna go too much longer or else you're gonna be making some butter. Today's not the day for that. Now we're gonna get the mascarpone. And just like last time, we're just gonna mush that around a little bit and make sure that it's nice and soft and at room temperature. We're gonna add a little bit of the whipped cream into the mascarpone and mix that really well before you combine everything together. The reason we're doing this is to make sure that all of your ingredients are roughly at the same temperature, and it helps prevent any curdling from happening. Look at how nice and fluffy this looks. Oh, so tasty. And now we're gonna repeat the whole process that we did with the traditional tiramisu. A layer of ladyfingers. A layer of the whipped cream filling. Some cocoa powder. For this version, I am not using chocolate shavings, but you can go ahead, whatever tickles your pickle. I tried to get away with not making any extra coffee, but that didn't work, so I had to make some more. At this point, I realized that I could have made my instant coffee with cold water from the beginning, so yay for that. You live, you learn. And once again, pop that in the fridge for a couple hours or overnight for best flavor. And ta-da! It's done! I love tiramisu. It's one of my favorite desserts. It is so easy to make, so rewarding, so tasty. And if you can't find any ladyfingers where you're at, they are super easy to make as well. Maybe once I start making money from this, I'll consider making my own ladyfingers. But for now, I'm just gonna use store-bought. Fun fact, our wedding cake was actually tiramisu flavored because I just like the combo of mascarpone, chocolate, and coffee just that much. And Alex's grandma actually made it for us. Grandma Jay, shout out to you. You're fantastic. Thank you so much. And as always, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a like. And if you have any questions for me, make sure to leave them down in the comments and I'll do my best to help you out. And now we compare. So that's the traditional one. Okay. And that's the one that has the raw eggs.
This one has raw egg. Is that the main difference?
Yes, that's the main difference.
Okay. Oh, wow. That's really good.
Yeah? Let me try.
I didn't expect it to be so, light.
That's real tasty. This is really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's really good.
It's the most tiramisu tasting tiramisu I think I've ever had.
Okay, yeah, I want to try it again just to let's leave a little bit so I can have it after that.
Yeah, let's try the other one. Okay. This is like the more modern tiramisu that's made with whipped cream instead of raw eggs, because raw egg's scary.
Raw egg is scary, that's true.
We will update you guys on whether we die or not.
Use the dislike button if you want us to die.
No. Like and subscribe to stay updated on whether we're alive or not.
That's what I meant to
say.
There
you go. All right.
There's no rules that say you have to eat the whole thing.
That's tasty.
Let's see if I agree.
There's nothing offensive about that. It's just plain delicious.
Oh, wow. That's really good.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just imagining it, but let me try this one again. It's weird. There's some sort of harsher element in here.
Yeah, so I don't know if this is traditional. That's what I saw people do, is that they will get chocolate and file it grinded.
Great.
Yeah, great chocolate underneath the cocoa powder layer. So that's maybe where you're getting like a little bit of a bigger punch. But the cream, I feel like has so much more flavor. This one,
that one's like, this was the first one I had, and this one seemed really light until I had that one, and then that one feels like airy, you know? Yeah,
I feel like the more modern tiramisu might be more of a crowd pleaser, whereas this one is, if you love tiramisu, this one is for you. Yeah, it tastes way more coffee, chocolate, strong. I wonder if it's just the piece we got, but like the layer seems more soaked. You see how it's like... well, that's... I kind of ran out of coffee. I see. I will say, I think my whipped cream recipe would benefit from having a little bit less whipped cream. The mascarpone is getting like a little lost in the sauce. Mascarpone? Oh, there's mascarpone. Which one's that? He's just a normal person who eats the things I don't know anything. I just eat the things, okay? Give me your rating. Do you want to do it a 5 or a 10? I don't know. What do you want your channel to be? I want like point something. Okay. I want it to be intense. Oh my God. This is okay. I've been waiting for this. All right. With this one, it's like a 9.4 right here. 9.4. Okay. Because it's like, just that good. It's just super good. There's nothing about it that like I can't even imagine anyone would like fault. And then this one is probably like, what did I say, 9.4? This one's probably like a 9.2. Oh, you liked this one less? I did. Well, I'm a big coffee lover too, so I don't know what it is about it, but it's just like slightly like this one I could probably eat this entire thing of. With this one, I just want one piece. So maybe that's like a good thing. But yeah, it's probably because the eggs, like they fill a lot more. Yeah, that is what it is. Yeah. I think this one for me is a solid 8. Oh wow. A solid 8 is fantastic, but it's on my personal scale, and I personally think that one was a lot better. Whoa. I'm gonna give that one a 9. I feel like some way, somehow, I could make it even better. How so? I don't know. That's interesting that you like this one better. I love tiramisu. I love tiramisu. All right. Well, that was successful. Fantastic. They're both great. Subscribe for more. Yeah.